Hello, it's me, French Ted, and my goodness, we're back. AEW, running AEW is back. It's been a while. I've had to watch a few episodes myself and, look back on the old Excel spreadsheet to see what has been happening in the world of AEW, just to get myself up to speed. And it's a very exciting time to be an AEW fan in my world. Oh, I've just smacked the mic, so sorry if it went funny then. We're fresh off the back of the All In Grand Prix final, which was one of my favourite episodes that we've done in a long time, which is why when I wanted to take the break from this series and my other series, it just felt like a good moment just to be like, right, we've got this exciting shit to come back to, and we're here. So I'm not going to waste too much time on the intro. We're just going to dive straight into this episode, going back to the usual format of Dynamite and Collision in each episode as we make our march towards AEW All Out, which will be the final episode of this series. So it's like a 2.5 year long series, which has been packed full of some incredible moments. But yeah, the rest of this series is just gearing towards that final All Out show, and obviously all the other big shows and events in between. Yeah, not much else to say. We're in the pre-show, so let's turn our attention to what we can see. And we just got some pre-show tag team action. Billy Starks and Samantha DeMartin defeating Paige Van Zandt and Shayna Baszler in 11 minutes when Billy Starks makes Shayna Baszler tap. What? In what world would that happen? But it happened. So yeah, looking at the numbers, everyone's averaging around the 50s. These two have great chemistry, or excellent chemistry, sorry, so that's really good to see. And a 59 overall. Cool. Following on from this, we've got one final pre-show match, and it is Alex Coughlin taking on El Phantasmo. And Phantasmo gets the win in 14 minutes with the CR2. Coughlin with a 62, Phantasmo with a 53. A little bit naff, 59 overall, but it's the pre-show, so who gives a shit? After this, though, we've got Chris Jericho in the pre-show, just kind of giving everyone a little update on what's been happening and what's happening and what will happen tonight. So, he talks about the All In Grand Prix final. Kenny Omega has booked his place at AEW All Out, or has he? Because, of course, Keith Lee attacked him and will no doubt challenge him for that All Out contract. We also had Volta's first defeat in AEW. How is he going to respond to that? Of course, he is in action tonight, because during the week leading up to this show tonight, there have been an exchange of words between the Roberts family's Lance Archer and Volta on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. So that has led to a match, and that will be our main event tonight. It will be Lance Archer taking on Volta. Speaking of the Roberts family, they've got titles now, so only going up for them. And we will open the show with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. Plus, a bunch of other stuff to come. We've got Kyrie in action, Aussie Open, Nick Jackson returns, bunch of stuff. So yeah, let's just forget about all that. And we'll not forget about it because we're about to see it. But yeah, let's just dive straight into the show, where we open with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley comes out and says that he is happy that the All In Grand Prix is done. He's tired, but being the world champion means that you don't get days off. It means that you represent the company. It means that you be the guy. And what better way to be the guy than to offer a world title challenge to anyone that wants to answer it. So Jon Moxley, he's feeling it. He's hot. He's probably a little bit pissed that he didn't win his block. So yeah, here he is taking on. And I think he got a little bit of criticism as well, because in the Grand Prix final, he had the night off. And a lot of people were like, that's not really a fighting champion, is it? So yeah, he is here, and he is offering out to anyone in the locker room to challenge him. And who will it be? Trent Beretta, apparently, in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Jon Moxley gets the win. He defeats Trent Beretta in 20 minutes by submission with the Bulldog Choke. Jon Moxley looked excellent out there with a 95, Trent with a 62, but he did separate his shoulder during the match. That obviously impacted his performance. 81 overall, not bad, and it is defense number 3 of the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Jon Moxley puts Trent Beretta away with, I want to say ease, but it took him 20 minutes, so maybe not. Following that match though, Moxley grabs the mic, acting like he hasn't broken a sweat, and says that he'll be back next week with another open challenge, and he expects better competition. He throws the mic down and leaves through the crowd with his title. Lovely little performance there, because it was fantastic from Jon Moxley. 87, love that. Following on from this though, we have got some tag team action. It's the team of Aussie Open taking on Kenta and Chris Bay of Bullet Club Gold. And in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Aussie Open get the win. They defeat Bullet Club Gold's Kenta and Chris Bay in 13 minutes when Carl Fletcher pins Kenta with a tombstone piledriver. Kenta was the weak link, but I do still think, he's got extremely poor form. Hopefully that disappears soon. It lasts however long it kind of wants to last. I've had it where it's lasted like a couple months. I've had it where it's lasted like 2 years. So we'll just have to wait and hope that Kenta can come good before the series ends. Just looking at the notes here, Christian Cage was at ringside. Hence the Christian's client's storylines. He's keeping an eye on his Aussie Open potential clients, the people that he's trying to bring under his wing. And it looks like they might not need him. I mean, great win here, 79 rating overall. Davis with a 79, Fletcher with an 82, Chris Bay doing really well with a 72 as well, and Kenta with a 62. But, that's in the past. It's happened. Let's move on. And move on we do, where we get a lovely little promo from our new number 1 contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. Of course, we already know that at Collision, if you guys remember, we are going to have the main event. The Golden Lovers, so Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, will be defending their Tag Team Championships against Hangman Adam Page and Bandido for, the 10th time? I don't know. But this is Hangman and Bandido's final shot at those belts. And the winner of that match will go on to face MJF and Matt Cardona, also known as the Best Broskis, down the line. So, the two of these men, loving life with each other. Of course, Steph DeLander is still there rolling her eyes at this bromance. And they're just talking about how they can't wait to have, not just matching scarves or matching jackets, but matching belts in the Tag Team Championships. So, very exciting. And that match will happen probably at like a Battle of the Belts or then whatever the next event is. So, we can look forward to that. After this, though, we're back in the ring and it is women's action between Kairi and Jordynne Grace. And in a decent match, Kairi gets the win as she defeats Jordynne Grace in 9 minutes with the insane elbow. Hold on, an 81. Kairi, my girl, and Jordynne Grace. But Kairi, whoa. Kairi with an 80 in-ring performance and Jordynne Grace with a 59. Obviously, we've got some great commentary here. I mean, the commentary for our AEW team is insane. Taz, Mauro Ranallo, and Chris Jericho, they've all got chemistry. They've all got insane stats. What you should do, and I'm going off on a segue here, but Chris Jericho was never a color commentator, but his charisma, his microphone skills, his entertainment skills, they're all insane. So I was like, talk with Worker, and then I was like, yo, Chris, do you want to be a color commentator? And he was like, yeah, I'll give that a go, because he does it in real life. And what it does is it kind of generates a stat for them, and I got really lucky. I think Chris Jericho's like 93 or something. So insane. Anyways, awesome match here from Kairi and Jordynne Grace. A short one, but still baller. Kairi is celebrating. She doesn't get too many wins in AEW, which is a shame, but we've got such a loaded roster. It's kind of hard to, make sure everyone gets a win. But Kairi gets a lovely win here. But unfortunately, that celebration is short-lived as Mercedes Monet comes out and attacks Kairi from behind. She beats her down, throws her into the turnbuckle on the outside, like the corner of the ring on the outside. Kind of just like stomps the crap out of her and then just kind of stands over her, grinning, looking quite menacing. And, security are like, Mercedes, back up, bitch. And then she's like, I've done my job. I'll see you later. And she kind of just walks back up the ramp, very happy with herself. So what provoked this attack? Who knows? But Mercedes Monet has just laid out Kyrie after a really good match. Following on from this, though, we've got a backstage segment with the Roberts family, Jake Roberts and his, what do you want to call them, disciples, his brothers, his children, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, 3 of these men have got belts over their shoulder. So Drew Galloway, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler are our current trios champions. And Lance Archer has a match tonight against Volta, which is going to be a beefy little match. But Jake Roberts just talks about how, the wise man, Jake Roberts, has already instructed success into his disciples, children, brothers, I don't know. And he hopes that this success will come through to Lance Archer as he defeats Volta in the main event tonight, making a true statement that the Roberts family is the best in AEW. And the Roberts family isn't a closed family at all. No, our doors are open and there are plenty more seats at the table to those that wish to be enlightened by the snake. Jake the Snake. So yeah, lovely little promo here. Jake Roberts is awesome on the mic. I mean, if you're unfamiliar with Jake the Snake, I never got to see him live because I'm too young for that. I was born in 95, just so you guys can work out how old I am, I guess. But I had all these old videotapes from my cousins and stuff, and I used to watch old wrestling, early 90s, late 80s. And a Jake Roberts promo was always just unreal. If he was around nowadays, 100% he would have ended up in Hollywood with some real sinister roles. But he can still cut up promos to this day, even though he sounds like he's going to keel over at any moment. But proof is here, 99. Galloway did some good work here as well, so baller. Following on from this, though, we've got some singles action. It is Nick Jackson taking on AR Fox at 84. Where are these numbers coming from? Mate, we are killing it. Bout had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Nick Jackson gets the win. He defeats AR Fox in 16 minutes with the 450 splash. An 88 from Nick Jackson and a 68 from AR Fox. A lovely little win from Nick Jackson. And I can't remember for the life of me if I put a segment in after this. So just in case I didn't, I'm just going to talk it now and then we'll see. Yeah? So post-match, Nick Jackson just is being interviewed by, let's say, RJ City or someone, I don't know. They go, Nick, great win. How did you find the All-In Grand Prix? Nick says, I didn't have the best of luck in the Grand Prix. If anything, half those matches weren't on my side. The time limit really puts pressure on you. If given more time, I would have definitely got way more points. But, the Grand Prix is over now. Well done, Kenny. We know what Kenny's like. He's a beast. But my attention is actually geared towards the World Light Heavyweight Championship. Bit of a stale division, that is, with Bryan Danielson, Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson, etc. So I think that needs to be shaken up a little bit. So boys, Nick Jackson is coming to play. So yeah, Nick Jackson just, kind of throwing his hat in the ring, you could say, in that World Light Heavyweight division. So yeah, very excited about that. Did we do a promo for it? No, we didn't. So yeah, I remembered that I didn't. But we are here backstage now with Mercedes Monet. RJ City has caught up with her. So let's just say it wasn't RJ City before. It was someone else. He's gone, Mercedes Monet. What was up with that attack on Kyrie earlier? It doesn't seem like she's done anything to offend you or anything. What's the reason behind it? And Mercedes says, you know what, RJ? I've got nothing against Kyrie. This wasn't a message to Kyrie. This was a message to everyone else watching AEW television. I've been here for quite some time now. I've defeated Kenny Omega one-on-one. The man that just won the All-In Grand Prix. And how many women's title shots have I had? How many opportunities have I had at Championship Gold? Not enough. So, looking at the current Women's World Champion, Demi Bennett. She came in, she attacked the big dogs in the women's division, and she kept doing that. And she got her opportunity, and she won the tournament or whatever, I can't remember. And she's now champion, and she continues to be champion. So maybe it's about time that we all learn from Demi Bennett. I'm sick of waiting. I'm going to start taking. And what you saw out there was only the beginning of what Mercedes Monet can do. So yeah, nice little promo there from Mercedes Monet. Just basically, she's sick of, waiting for her turn, and she's going to take her turn. So be very interesting to see how this develops and if Demi Bennett responds to these actions. Who knows? But it is main event time. We have got the big boy battle between Lance Archer of the Roberts family and Volta, the man who has only lost once, and that was to Kenny Omega in singles action, might I add. So yeah, let's dive straight into this main event and see what happens, like we don't already know. And yeah, in a good match, it's Volta that gets the win. He defeats Lance Archer in 40 minutes by submission with the rear naked choke. The match suffered because there wasn't enough selling. Of course, neither of these men wanted to look weak. Jake Roberts, though, was ringside, did some really good work, apparently. Archer with a 66, Volta with a 93. Oh, get him in the ring with someone a little bit better, and it is a 5-star match. But yeah, that is how we end this episode of Dynamite. Volta gets maybe a little bit of revenge, not on Lance Archer per se, but just in general, after suffering that loss in the Grand Prix final, looking to build that momentum back up and see where he goes with it. But yeah, that is how we end. Let's see how we did. An 85, I'll take that. We've increased our popularity in 6 regions because everywhere else we're loved. We are restricted by the number of viewers here. We do have the new, I can't remember if I showed you guys or not, but we've got our own broadcaster now. That is what all of the Grand Prix matches were broadcasted on, and that's what all of our pay-per-views going forward, I believe, will be broadcasted on. I spent a lot of money on making it quite big. Eventually, when our TV deals expire and stuff like that, I'm going to start throwing our TV on there as well. And because we're made of money, I'm just going to keep upping that broadcaster so that we're basically big everywhere. And yeah, that's how we're going to grow to Titanic, if we can even get there, or global as it used to be called. But that is Dynamite. Lovely little episode, kind of got us back on track, got some balls rolling. Next up is Collision, where we do have that main event between the Golden Lovers and Hangman and Bandido. Very excited to see what happens there, among other things that are going on. But yeah, let's just dive straight over to Collision. So I'll see you guys in a sec. And we are back for Collision. I'm very excited about the main event of this one. Golden Lovers, Hangman and Bandido for the Tag Team Championship. Oh, very exciting. But we've got a whole show to get through first. And we are here in the pre-show, where it is High Five taking on Legion of Pain. And in a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling, but not much heat, it is Legion of Pain that get the win. They defeat High Five in 11 minutes when Dinza pins Darius Martin with the last chapter. 72 overall. Selmani, which is this big fucker here, got the highest with a 71. Love that. Look at all that green. Oh, but it's a pre-show match, so who cares? Following on from this, though, we've got trios action in the women's division. And it is, the Ito Respect Army taking on Willow Nightingale, Ruby Soho, and Daria Berenato. Of the Ito Respect Army, of course, it is Maki Ito, the leader, Miyu Yamashita, the second in command, and Suzume. Ito Respect Army get the win, of course. Maki Ito pins Ruby Soho with the Ito special. Willow Nightingale, though, broke her toe mid-match, which isn't very good, which probably did lower this and lower her score, 57, yeah. Ito with an 80 and Yamashita with a 73, though. That is lovely. Don't really care about the rest. These are all kind of jobbers in my eyes, which sucks because I love Willow. I don't mind the rest. But yeah, let's just continue on with a Nigel McGuinness announcement. Nigel McGuinness announces that there will be an international title eliminator tournament tonight. So we have 4 people are in this tournament. They are Konosuke Takeshita, Darby Allin, Roosh, and Rey Fenix. So we'll have 2 effective semi-final matches tonight, and then next week on Collision will be the the international title eliminator final, and the winner of that will face Keith Lee at the next event that we have going on. So yeah, you got a few extra matches to look forward to tonight. You know, you're being spoiled. You're welcome. But one of those matches is up next, and it is Konosuke Takeshita and Darby Allin. And in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Darby Allin gets the win. He defeats Konosuke Takeshita in 24 minutes and 29 seconds with the coffin drop. And as you can see, it was part of the International Title Eliminator Tournament. Takeshita with an 83, Allin with a 74 and a 77 overall. Got the show off to a strong start. So a good win for Darby Allin here. Poor, I'd say, from Takeshita. I don't know. He's kind of someone who's really good, but I've just got nothing for right now. So, yeah, I don't know. He's not with Don Callis. Don Callis is still with Kenny Omega in my save. I feel like I need to remind you guys every now and then. Don Callis is still a good guy. He hasn't betrayed Kenny in my series. Not yet, that is. Woohoo. Nothing's happening. Callis is probably going to stay with Kenny until the end. Following on from this, though, we go backstage as Keith Lee, is watching on in this international title eliminator, and he is being interviewed by someone behind the camera. But Keith Lee says that he is already in Kenny's head. He was like, I don't want to talk about that match. I'm here to talk about Kenny. Kenny's got a title match tonight, but I 100% know that all he's thinking about is the big bad Keith Lee. So I'm already in the boy's head, and I'm going to stay in his head until I defeat him and take his all-out spot from right under his feet. So yeah, that's what's on my mind. So yeah, lovely little Keith Lee, beastly little man. Nice little promo here, just saying, he's in Kenny's head. He's in his head. So, is that going to play a part in the main event tonight? We're going to have to wait and see. But Keith Lee doesn't seem bothered about this tournament that's happening to decide his challenger. So, hey-ho. Going back to the ring, though, we have got Athena taking on Chris Statlander. And in a decent match, Athena gets the win. She defeats Chris Statlander in 10 minutes with the top rope stunner. Athena with a 65, which is nice. Chris Statlander with 53, which is, don't really care. So yeah, Athena gets a nice win on Collision, 66 performance. And post-match, she grabs the mic and just announces that she is done with Ring of Honor and she is aiming for the top in AEW. So Demi Bennett, watch out. And, Athena then celebrates her win and makes her way up the ramp. That's another person mentioning Demi Bennett and her title. So, she's got a few people gunning for her. After this, though, we do head backstage and we see Hangman and Bandito preparing for their match. And Hangman Page just, reminds Bandito that this is the biggest match of your career. Okay? Don't mess this up, alright? We could become tag team champions, okay? So you focus, Bandito, okay? And Bandito's like, okay, alright. But he's also a bit like, why are you being a prick about it? It's also a big match for you. And Hangman's like, big match for you, your biggest match in AEW, all right? Because obviously Hangman believes he's had bigger matches, which, he probably has, but there's a way to go about it. So, yeah, he's trying to really get it into Bandito's head. This is a big match for you, all right? For us, well, but mainly for you. So, yeah, let's see if these two can become tag team champions by the end of tonight. Staying backstage, we've got a little pre-recorded vignette, and it's Tony Storm. I don't know why the picture is updated to that, because we are not using timeless Tony Storm in this series. We're using sexy bunches Tony. So I'll have to change that after this. But Tony Storm, after losing, 1, 2, 3 times back-to-back to Demi Bennett, she says that she is still not giving up on her pursuit of the Women's Championship, and she will be Women's Champion again. So, yeah, Tony Storm refusing to accept defeat and has, kind of thrown it out there. Demi Bennett, I'm not done with you. So, yeah, Tony Storm is still about. She's still knocking about, but she doesn't look like this, so ignore that picture. After this, though, we've got the other international title eliminator match. It is Rey Fenix taking on Roosh, who had some really good matches in the old tournament we just had, the Grand Prix. So let's see if he can continue that momentum in this match. At 86, wow, okay. And about that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and good heat. Roosh gets the win. He defeats Rey Fenix in 18 minutes with the Roosh driver and advances to the final with an 88 performance. Rey Fenix with an 86, got the crowd buzzing with an 86 overall performance. Love that. And then we've got Chris Jericho on commentary, just confirming that it will be Darby Allin and Roosh next week in the main event of Collision. Very exciting stuff. One of those men will go on to face Keith Lee for the international title. Love that. Very excited. Before we head to our main event match, we do have another little backstage segment, and Nigel McGuinness has been apprehended by Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and Britt says, you know, everyone keeps mentioning Demi Bennett. You know, you've got Mercedes Monet saying that she's coming for her. You've got Athena name-dropping Demi Bennett on, like, her first proper match in AEW. We've got Toni Storm, who just won't, you know, give up, even though she loses every week. But why, Nigel, can I ask, why are all of these women being considered or getting title shots after title shots when Jamie Hayter is right here? I mean, look at her. Former champion. She's incredible. She's my best friend. Nigel, what's up about that? And Nigel's like, hey, you know, I don't make the decisions. I'm the voice of the board. Tony Khan is the decision maker. But the best way to get Tony's attention is to get that in the ring. So, you know, I can put you guys in some matches, and if you get the wins, you can prove yourself. You know, that's just how it works. So, you know, please don't shoot the messenger, and don't shoot Tony Khan either, because, you know, he employs us. But yeah, so Britt Baker throwing Jamie Hayter's hat in the ring for her, you know, trying to still win her over, I guess. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people want Demi Bennett. I mean, there is another women's title, you know, Rebecca Knox has just won it, but no one seems to care about that one. They want the big one. So we will have to wait and see what happens in the women's division and all these, I want the belt, no, I want the belt. And as Demi Bennett still isn't here, she's just, you know, maxing, relaxing somewhere, you know, taking in the sun, but not too much, because she quite likes the pasty skin. But either way, next up is our main event. Very excited for this. The Golden Lovers, who have easily been probably the best tag team in a long time, taking on Hangman and Bandito. They formed this rivalry in recent times, especially Hangman and Kenny. It's been a little bit bitter, you could say. And it's all culminating to this match. This is Hangman and Bandito's, I'd say, final chance, because we do have new number one contenders in the Best Broskies just waiting to jump at that opportunity. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the main event. Golden Lovers, Hangman and Bandito for the World Tag Team Championships. A 94. I wouldn't expect anything less than a 90, if I'm being honest. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Hangman and Bandito get the win. They defeat the Golden Lovers in 28 minutes when Hangman Adam Page pins Kota Ibushi with the buckshot lariat. Where was Kenny, you ask? Well, if we continue reading, we can see that during the match, Keith Lee ran in and attacked Kenny Omega, leaving Kota Ibushi to be essentially double teamed, which leaves Hangman Page and Bandito as our new AEW World Tag Team Champions. My goodness, Keith Lee has torn Kenny's belt away from him. So this is definitely more fuel to that fire between these two. And let's just look at the numbers before we dive further into the story. But we've got Kota Ibushi with a 77, pretty good from him. Kenny Omega with a 98, I mean, close to perfection. Bandito with an 80, not bad. And Hangman Page with an 88, awesome. And yeah, what else can we say? Hangman and Bandito, new champions. Probably all thanks to Keith Lee, let's be honest. And that is how we end the show. Keith Lee, you know, in the crowd, laughing his head off as, you know, Kenny Omega checks on Kota Ibushi after recovering from his own attack, and Hangman and Bandito up at the ramp celebrating their championship win. Post-show, though, we get a nice little YouTube clip video with our new tag team champions. You know, they're over the moon. They're jumping. They're celebrating. Hangman's already got a beer in his hand. And he says, you know what? I'm so happy with that win. We are deserving tag team champions. You know, finally gold around my waist again. You know, I am a champion of this company. I think it's deserved. I'm happy with everything. You know, we've got a little bit of luck with Keith, but we would have won anyway. But one thing I'm not over the moon about is you, Bandito. I told you how important this match was, and you just didn't hit it, did you? You know, you could have been so much better. You know, Kenny was taking advantage of you early on. You know, I had to get the hot tag and take over, and if it wasn't for my buckshot lariat, we probably wouldn't have these belts right now. So, you know, in future matches, Bandito, you got to step up, mate, okay? You just got to. And Bandito's like, what the fuck? Like, what? And Hangman Page like, either way, though, tag team champion, love it. I'm going to go celebrate. And he kind of just walks off, kind of forgetting that he even has the tag team partner. It seems like Hangman Page has been so focused on not only beating Kenny, but also just having a title, that he's kind of starting to mistreat his friend, his amigo, Bandito. But that is how we wrap up this show. Let's see how we did. And of course it was going to be great because we had an awesome main event. Yeah, 88 rated. Love that. Some things to look forward to in the next episode. Of course, we've got Darby Allin taking on Roosh for the chance to face Keith Lee at the show. We're going to have the fallout between obviously Kenny and Keith Lee as well. John Moxley has said that he'll be back next week with another open challenge. So that's very exciting. And yeah, the Best Broskies are now officially #1 contenders for Hangman Page and Bandito's title. So that will happen at some point in the near future. Very exciting. Got lots of awesome things coming up in this series. I've got some really fun, wacky plans. Yeah, I'm going to have fun with this. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll leave it on that one. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, do it all. And I'll see you all in the next one.